Hey, how's everyone doing tonight? So, we got some updates on Krista Pike. The judge ruled on her concerns about her execution. All right. So we're just gonna just give me a second, real quick. All right. Let's get it going. Here we go.
Court not reopening a special hearing on the future of death row inmate Krista Pike, the only woman facing execution here in Tennessee. Pike was convicted in the 1995 killing of Colleen Slimmer, a case dubbed the Job Corps murder. Now, she's set for execution at the end of the month. Attorneys have been challenging Tennessee's lethal injection protocol with attention focused on a
Well, it failed, all right?
failed execution.
Probably because she can choose the electric chair at any time. So I guess her little challenge didn't hold water.
Earlier this year. We took you inside the courtroom earlier in the month for a hearing in front of a special master, a judge appointed by the state Supreme Court to look into the situation.
So this judge had to probably go on a tour the prison and then hold a hearing, which lasted days.
Pike's defense team wanted to introduce evidence that the doctor who performed the botched execution would perform Pike's lethal injection. Her attorneys point to an interview suggesting that would be the case, but the court rejected the idea as not backed up by records. We're still waiting on the special master
You're damn right
on the execution itself.
So let me point out, all right, again. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Morky Mom. Hey, Honey Bunch. So there's Krista Pike. She lost. It was inevitable. So we got yet another. Let's see, where are you? So disorganized tonight. Let's just see here real quick. Here we go. Here's the other okay, just give it a second. There's an ad. Kind of skip through. All right, now we're gonna put this up. And all I gotta do is push play.
A new legal setback for the only woman on death row in Tennessee. A special judge largely dismissing challenges by Krista Pike to her upcoming execution. Back in 1995, she was a teenager and convicted in the killing of Colleen Slimmer. The death row inmate filed challenges in court, suggesting her blood condition and small veins could complicate her execution.
Yeah, but the doctors have no issue giving her a blood test for her platelet count. All right, so they can easily draw blood. They can stick a needle in her arm. All right, that's just how I view it.
Causing unnecessary pain during a lethal injection. 10 News reporter Alana Munich joining us now with the impact of the latest court decision almost a month out from that execution date. Alana.
Yeah, Pike's execution date is still set for.
Okay, it's set for September 30th. That will be it's almost 30 days she's got left.
The end of September, though, her attorneys can continue their legal challenge. Pike has been in Knox County Court most of last week, and we were there each day. She argues her blood condition and small compromised veins add to unnecessary suffering if lethally injured.
Oh, please. She's exaggerating the whole thing just for show.
rejected. Senior Judge Mark Ward said in a report obtained by WBIR today, Pike's condition would not get in the way of starting an IV. The court also found that Pike offered little proof that her veins are too small and damaged for a normal IV, and her past medical records show her previous blood draws have worked fine in the past. Pike's
they worked fine in the past. What's going to be different this time? She's not special. Just because she's a female doesn't disqualify her for execution. All right.
Legal team argued that it would be more humane to execute her using a deeper central line IV or by hanging, which Judge
hanging is not the law. All right. It's either electric chair or lethal injection. She has her choice. All right.
Ward says is actually a more dangerous method with higher risk if something goes wrong. Following today's release of the special
even the electric chair can go wrong a few % of the time. All right.
Master's report, Pike's attorney said in short, the special
hanging can has a few % chance of being botched. All right. Every method of execution can be botched. All right.
Master found that Krista Pike suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and bipolar disorder.
Well, she wasn't insane enough during the commission of her crime to get an insanity verdict. She's legally sane. She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew it was wrong, and she did it anyway. It was anger. It was stalking. She stalked her victim. Got mad because of the rumors that her so-called boyfriend was flirting or sleeping with her victim. Okay.
As a result of the repeated rapes and childhood sexual abuse she experienced at the hands of multiple men, the state clearly doesn't care about a girl victim of childhood rapes and
no, that's not true, all right? Because plenty of people went through what Krista Pike did during their childhood, and they don't sit there and kill people, all right? She, even when she was in prison, she got thrown in solitary for 30 years because guess what? She decided to try to kill another inmate. All right?
And sexual abuse, and it will be complicit should Krista's last moments be torturous. Pike's team has also asked that women officers be involved in her execution. The court said they will try to put all female staff in the capital punishment unit when she is housed at Riverbend. She is currently
which will probably be 24 hours, maybe 48 at the most when she's transferred. I could see that. I could see that as a reasonable request to have females guard over her. They could transfer a few of the guards for a day or two to work at the men's prison, all right? I'm sure there's female staff members that work at Riverbend, all right?
Being held at a women's facility in Nashville, and the Tennessee Supreme Court will now review Judge Ward's report. John?
Alana Mutnick with the very latest tonight.
So, apparently, yeah, central line is still lethal injection. Absolutely. Absolutely, honey bunch. It's the same thing. Yeah, the reason why nitrogen hypoxia was ruled out because it took too long for them to die. And then you had the inmates holding their breath, trying to so-called survive. Yeah, blah, 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 you know? Morky Mom, blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't really care. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, really. I think they used to do hanging in the 1800s. Then in 1890, around the 1890, they came up with the electric chair to replace it, and then some years later, some states opted for the gas chamber. Death by oh yeah, apparently, Honey Bunch. So Casey Anthony did something heinous. She had 12 dumb jurors that didn't want to review the evidence, probably because they were sequestered and wanted to go home. And that's the risk you get with sequestering jurors. And well, Honey Bunch, I'm just going to say this. All right. Getting rid of the death penalty isn't good. It doesn't. Okay, I could see the argument that it doesn't deter crime, but it's actually a punishment. Yeah, it's too expensive, Honey Bunch, because it takes how long for the appeals to go through? 20 years, 30 years. They should just speed up the appeals process. And in the old days of New York and some other states, you stayed on death row maybe a year or two. You got your appeals, and they were rushed. And yeah, that's what they should do. It would reduce the cost of the death penalty. And you are right, Honey Bunch. It is expensive. Yeah, I am too, Jamie, you know. So I have no sympathy for Krista. It should have been done 2 decades ago, 3 decades. She's surely a waste of breath. Yeah, taxpayers have paid millions on her because of the way the system is now set up. The old days, it was cheap. They got their appeal. Yeah, the taxpayers of Tennessee paid it. Yeah, her appeals were expensive. They got to hire all these expert witnesses. Okay. I don't think they should get paid for testifying. That's just my opinion. All right? That's what the cost goes up to. Okay, they got to pay $50,000. I think some of these experts, they milk the system for all it's worth. You know, it's so this case will be reviewed by the Tennessee Supreme Court probably by next week, and they'll have a final decision soon. So stay tuned. We'll find out what the Tennessee Supreme Court has to say about this. So we're going to talk about Lindsay Clancy. All right. I didn't hear of her case until Jamie profiled her on his channel, and I did some digging. So we're going to put up an update on this case. Okay, I got 30 seconds. Let me come on, hurry up. Don't got all day. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So let's unmute this and let's go.
Tonight, the battle of the experts begins.
I have been personally involved in I'd estimate about 80 cases.
Medical experts on both sides give their take on the question at the heart of the case.
She was a puppet and someone else was pulling the strings.
Was Lindsay Clancy dealing with postpartum psychosis when she killed her kids?
No excuse, all right?
Retained the capacity that required for having criminal responsibility for these actions.
And this case has generated headlines and support for Clancy.
It's the message that just has reverberated.
The support for Clancy is outrageous, all right? They went nuts over Casey Anthony, all right? She killed her kid. And now she's getting sympathy? Really?
Throughout the whole country.
So, how does the jury avoid outside information? A juror from another high-profile trial weighs in. Commonwealth Confidential, the Lindsay Clancy trial, starts now.
The defense has rested in the Lindsay Clancy trial, setting up a battle of the experts. Good evening, everyone. I'm Glenn Jones. The experts have dueling opinions, and whomever jurors believe most.
So, the state expert and the defense expert don't agree on her diagnosis, and I'll get into that in a minute or two.
Could be the deciding factor in this case. The defense rested after calling 10 witnesses across 5 days, and now that rebuttal testimony is underway, we're very close to closing arguments. Our John Maroney has the latest from Plymouth Superior.
So after the defense presents their case, the prosecution can call rebuttal witnesses to try to rebut the so-called defense of hers.
Court.
My final diagnosis of her was called bipolar 2 with a severe depression.
The final witnesses in Lindsay Clancy's first
Okay, and she was depressed.
degree murder trial. Mental health experts with different views about the Duxbury mother's state of mind when she killed her kids and tried to kill herself. This psychiatrist evaluated Clancy for the Commonwealth, rattling off a list of things creating anxiety for her.
The remorse and sadness about the events that this case is about, her separation or estrangement from her then husband.
Dr. Avram Matt.
Oh, wow, because she's estranged from her husband. It gave her the right to do what she did.
Met with the defendant in the spring at Tewksbury Hospital. He says she wasn't psychotic when she killed her kids and understood her actions.
She suffered from what's called a major depressive episode. That probably is a part of what's called a major depressive disorder.
The prosecution argues the defendant is criminally responsible and should be convicted of first-degree murder for strangling her through.
I agree. It's first-degree murder. All right.
Young children, Cora, Dawson, and Callan. The defense says she was insane and suffering from postpartum psychosis. Dr. Philip.
There are plenty of women that have postpartum psychosis, and they don't kill their kids. All right. I think that's a slap in the face to the mental health community, giving these excuses, all right?
Resnick testified for the defense via Zoom.
And let me just reiterate, Massachusetts doesn't have the death penalty, so that's not even on the table, all right? She may have an argument against getting executed if Massachusetts did have it, but that's not an issue here, all right?
And Clancy was psychotic.
In her mind, she believed that.
Okay, do you see her? She's in a wheelchair. She climbed out of a second-story window and tried to unalive herself. Just pointing that out.
She would be doing her children a favor by having them go to heaven with her rather than remain on earth without her doing the mothering.
Clancy says a male voice told her to kill her children and herself. Her psychiatrist testified.
Well, if you hear voices telling you to do bad things, you should be absolutely skeptical, all right? And not believe a word of it.
That she was having a good day up until then.
And
so she had a good day until then. Oh, I don't buy it, all right?
That was not frankly psychotic until she had a command hallucination while her husband Patrick was out doing a couple of chores.
So the husband, supposedly, she sent the husband out to do errands. And then while he was gone, she killed the kids, all right? This is Chris Watts all over again, but the difference is she's a female, he's a male. Chris Watts, by the way, almost got the death penalty until the victim's family says just give him life, let him rot there in prison. So they had him plead guilty and he got life, all right? And he's not even in a Colorado prison due to security issues.
After the defense arrested, the prosecution started calling rebuttal witnesses. That process will continue Monday when testimony resumes. In Plymouth, John Maroney, NBC 10 Boston.
It was quite a day in the courtroom. Let's dive deeper into the battle of the experts that will conclude this trial. Two people I enjoy talking with.
Yeah, there's something wrong when two experts can't even get close to a diagnosis, all right?
Defense attorney Morgietta Durcier and our courtroom insider Sue O'Connell. All right, let's start, of course, with Dr.
All right. So let me just give a background on who this killer is. All right. So let's see here. Okay, the defense expert. All right, we're going with the defense expert because she's pleading insanity. So the diagnosis by the defense expert is bipolar disorder, severe depression, and postpartum psychosis. All right. I think that's a slap in the face to women that have it. View on medications, over medication and fragmented care exacerbated symptoms. Okay. And all right, prosecution expert that we've seen on the screen earlier, just now. Major depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder. Mental state during the crime, no signs of mania or psychosis. Retained criminal responsibility. State expert noted her documented history of resisting psychiatric medications. So, in other words, she said, I know I'm mentally ill, but I don't want to take my meds. She made a conscious choice not to take her medication. She didn't have a gun to her head and say, don't take your meds, all right? I understand that different medications work different on people. If they did things right in the first place, they would have just took her kids away because apparently she was a danger to herself and others. And then tried medication after medication until she was stable. Then she could probably get her kids back, in my opinion. But these naysayers, these so-called supporters, the system failed her. Really? She made a conscious choice to resist psychiatric medications, all right? So that gives her more culpability in my mind, all right? I have zero sympathy for this woman, all right? Zero. Because if she had mental illness, all right, it happens. But she's resisting treatment options, and it so-called turns into this. So this case caused massive public division. Of course, hundreds of supporters, many of them mothers wearing pink, rallied outside the courthouse to raise awareness about the gaps in the U.S. maternal mental health system. All right, if you want to sit there and criticize the mental health system, go right ahead. But her husband made a choice, conscious choice, not to commit her to a mental institution. All right. So that's another so if you want to sit there and criticize the mental health system, there's holes in it. All right. But it doesn't, in my mind, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't mitigate anything. All right. So the jury has two choices: guilty of first-degree murder or insanity. Either way, she gets locked up. All right. So we're gonna discuss case background. This crime happened in January of 2023. A former maternity nurse. Oh, okay. So she has knowledge of prescription medications. I'm sure she knew about some of the mental health medications. It was part of her job to know that. And she strangled her 3 young children. So she has a 5-year-old. She killed her 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and 8-month-old inside the family home. She carried out the axe after sending her then husband, Patrick, out to pick up medication and dinner. Immediately following the killings, Lindsay attempted to unalive herself by jumping out a second-story window. She survived the fall but was left paralyzed from the waist down. I remember Christina Riggs' case. She decided to get drugs from work and RXs and decided to inject her kids with potassium chloride, the drug they use for lethal injections. And she got a lethal injection herself. This was in Arkansas. So she knows she has postpartum depression, so to speak. She knows what would happen if she didn't take her medication because she has an education in nursing. So that's no excuse. She has an education. She knows what can happen if certain mentally ill people, such as herself, don't take their medication or don't participate in treatment. All right? It's like some people in a drama community, they're off their meds, they're crazy. They think they're special, they want to be the biggest victim in all this. And they're not, all right? So the defense case led by attorney Kevin Runnington, the defense does not dispute that Clancy caused the deaths of her children. Instead, they argue that she is not criminally responsible due to undiagnosed bipolar disorder and severe postpartum psychosis. Really? I don't buy that. I think she was in the hospital a few times. So it's undiagnosed. Okay, whatever. I don't buy it. I think they're totally exaggerating the whole situation. Dr. Philip Resnick testified that Clancy was suffering from command hallucinations, a delusion of influence, feeling as through an external force has taken over her body. The defense rested its case yesterday after calling 10 witnesses. Prosecutors argue that Clancy's actions were calculated, deliberate, and planned. They emphasized her ability to function normally earlier that day, such as making a snowman and taking her daughter to the doctor. Prosecution expert witness Dr. Arvian Mack testified that while Clancy suffered from major depressive episode and severe anxiety, she did not display the signs of psychosis or mania and retain the capacity for criminal responsibility. So there are 2 experts. This case is mostly battle of the experts. And I'm going to point out again that the first degree murder, the premeditation part, could be proved by her sending her husband out of the house to pick up so-called medication so she can kill her kids. There's some element of premeditation there. All right? Usually crazy people that kill, they're unable to premeditate anything. They just do it impulsively. This doesn't seem to be the case here. Oh, I do too, honey bunch. Yeah, how can anyone have sympathy for her? I don't get it. Nobody had sympathy for Casey Anthony except a few idiots that believed that her daughter drowned in the swimming pool. Bullshit. And she actually, if Casey's daughter's drowned in the swimming pool by accident, that isn't a crime. There's no need to lie about it. But she probably drugged her kid to go party, all right, at Club Fusion to ride the stripper pole, all right? Now we have a mother that killed her 3 kids, not just a mother who killed 1 kid. And some people are just, oh, the system failed her. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Isn't that right? Yeah, she is a manipulative, selfish monster. There has to be some degree of evil in you if you kill your kids. We have a penal system, not a set of mental hospitals where you commit a crime and you're in a hospital setting. No. No way, Jose. We have a standard, the McNaughton standard, where you got to know, you got to not understand the difference between right and wrong, or you didn't know what you were doing at the time. She doesn't qualify for legal insanity. Just because she's mentally ill, supposedly, and she refused to take her meds, she knew what would happen. They teach, and I believe they teach that in nursing school. So let me see, what kind of nurse was she again? Maternity nurse. Oh, wow. Nasty, nasty, nasty. So people shouldn't be having sympathy for this woman. She's obviously guilty of murder. Maybe if I was on the jury, if it was a death penalty case, I may spare her life because due to her mental illness. That's about it. All right? That's probably the only sympathy I'll have for this woman. And then you have these nasty liberals making excuses for her. This woke culture gets out of control quick. Oh, she's a woman. She should be treated special. She's no better than any criminal defendant on that killed people, all right? She's a murderer. She didn't kill 1 person. She didn't kill 2. She killed 3. So she can't argue, well, I'm mentally ill and had no premeditation. Really? I could see if she strangled her first kid or tried to do it and then she stopped, but she kept going. Now, Andrea Yates is insane. All right. but this woman doesn't cut it. If you want to change the mental health system, go to Springfield. Lobby your elected officials to make changes. All right? But just don't give this woman an excuse. Because that's all Betty Broderick did when she killed her husband and her new wife. Just made excuses. Had no self-awareness whatsoever. And exaggerated her abuse. Just to try to get out of jail free card. Yeah, sometimes, Jamie, you know. You want a link, Honey Bunch? Here we go. I'm just going to drop the link while I talk. So, we're going to move on real quick. We can probably go up, revisit this. Okay, so we're going to review outcomes of death warrants. So, here we go. I'm just going to share the screen again. This is an anti-death penalty organization. So, this website tracks who their inmate status if they're on death row. All right. So you can go to this website and practically check. So, all right, let me just go. Okay, the Pennsylvania governor doesn't believe in the death penalty, so he just issues same-day reprieves when a warrant is issued by the state Supreme Court. All right. Now we got Texas executed someone January 28th. Florida is on an execution spree. Some of these people were on death row for over 30 years. And it's just... So here we go. March 12th, 2026. The reason why the governor of Alabama granted clemency to Mr. Burton was because he didn't actually commit the crime. I think he was a getaway driver or something. So the governor said, well, he may be guilty of murder in the first degree, but he wasn't the one who actually killed someone, all right? It's the in concert theory, all right? So we have the Ohio governors doing the same thing. But Ohio is having problems getting execution drugs, so they just keep postponing executions. So Florida is executing, let's see here, Texas, Arizona. So I'm just going to highlight this real quick. Here's Krista Pike. She's scheduled to die September 30th. Couldn't happen any sooner. Hey, Summer. Yeah, it's just this is a true crime website that tracks death row inmates. If they get their sentence overturned, it says that, it records it. And then the articles, hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hello? Anyone there?
Yes. So Honey Bunch wants to know what would be your death row last meal.
I don't know, because I don't kill people, but maybe chicken wings or tacos or something.
That's it? Tacos and chicken wings?
Yeah. My two favorite foods.
Really? Okay.
Maybe some
All
ice
right.
cream dessert.
Ice cream? What kind of ice cream?
Either vanilla or strawberry or
Gross. That's nasty. Okay, continue with your stream.
Okay, so what do you have to say about this?
I'm sorry, what was the topic?
Krista Pike, that Lindsay Clancy bitch.
Right, so what's the current thing you're discussing?
If you had it your way, would Lindsay Clancy be executed?
I mean, she should at least be put away for life. She could be executed, but there's complications with that. It's more just about like her going to jail. I think there's too much here where there's too much evidence that suggests that she had premeditation. She sent Patrick out to go get food and go to the pharmacy and do all these things to give her enough time to commit the acts. She lined them up very methodically. I think, what was it, in the basement or whatever? Like very like in it, like lined up in a row. And just, I mean, and then she researched like killing and stuff like that on Google. There's like search results that are very troubling. So I mean, there's just a lot that suggests that maybe she did have some previous symptoms. This wasn't something that was like diagnosed by a doctor. It's like, oh, you have severe postpartum depression, ma'am. It wasn't anything like that. She was diagnosed with anxiety, just general anxiety, and a severe form of depression, and bipolar 2. Bipolar 2 was one of them. So there's a lot of bipolar people who don't murder their kids. So to me, these are all like red herrings.
Yeah, if she was actually bipolar, I would probably expect her to lose her temper or something. Because sometimes with bipolars, they
but this was a very methodical, like calm approach to it. It wasn't like you couldn't say this was a crime of passion or something, right? She did it very methodically, and supposedly some kind of demonic voice spoke to her and told her, and basically took over her body. Apparently, by one of the psychological experts, that main one that you showed, he said that there was some kind of force or entity or something that literally took control of her mind and made her do the things.
Oh, the unpossessed defense.
Yeah, the demon possession thing, basically. I mean, they could easily turn this into like a demon possession movie. I'm just thinking about movies because I like movies, but it looks like that from the evidence. The two were in the basement. One ran to the dad's office, probably looking for him to save him.
Which is sad.
Okay. Yeah.
If the kid runs to another room, isn't that more of a thought? Oh, I gotta get the kid. I gotta kill the kid, right? That's another point of meditation. It's like the state has to prove that you came up with some kind of plan, even in the blink of an eye.
There was premeditation, regardless of how it occurred. So I feel like if someone goes like psychotic, and also like her last words to the kids were go to God, which is just a bizarre thing to say.
Sure is.
It's not like she was just screaming like and then killed them. Like she literally had like a plan, and then like literally like an 80s like last line kind of dialogue, like go to God.
I'm not arguing she's not crazy, but
it's definitely crazy. But she's definitely crazy, but it's like, I mean, and there are lots of, like, with postpartum, apparently it happens in anywhere from like 40 to 50% of mothers where they have thoughts of killing their children. This is surprisingly prevalent.
Yeah.
They have these thoughts, and maybe I'm more extreme about it. I think someone should be put away for at least 6 months if they're having those thoughts, because why risk it? Is
Yeah.
my thought process.
Why risk a mother killing her kids?
Yeah, it's like maybe lock them up until they don't have these thoughts anymore, right?
Or,
I mean,
or
most of the time, these mothers don't end up killing their children, but it's also like a gamble, right? It's like a crapshoot. Like I guess 1 in 1,000 is going to do it. It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And is there nothing we can do about that?
Well, she should have either been committed or lost custody until they found the right medicine for her, which can take.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like this was like a recurring issue. So, I mean, maybe they can rate the severity of these cases and decide what to do from there. I feel like because they were talking to doctors, she was getting on medication. She did go to the hospital to stay for like 4 days, which is not nearly enough time, in my opinion. She should have been there for at least a month.
Yeah.
For evaluation and stuff.
Or at least until they figure out, okay, is the medicine working? Do we got to put her on something else?
Yeah, so no men who kill their kids should be responsible. Obviously, they are crazy.
Yeah, they are crazy. It's just an excuse.
Well, that wasn't. I wasn't talking about men. I mean, obviously, if men kill their kids, they should be held responsible as well.
They would be held to a higher standard.
Yeah, but when it comes to women, they specifically go through this mental thing called postpartum that gives them these thoughts of killing their kids. Men don't have that. It's not like a byproduct of giving birth for men. You know what I mean? Like, we don't splooge into a woman and then feel like killing her afterwards. You know what I mean? If we did, maybe it would be an issue, but that's not a thing.
Yeah, because I try to put my shoes inside a woman, and I can't really do that because I know.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
Putting your
Did you say putting your shoes inside a woman?
That's what I meant. Put myself in someone else's shoes, like a female.
If I put my shoes inside of a woman.
Came out wrong. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Sometimes the words come out wrong and they're funny, Yeah. Yeah, Chris Watts got life. I'd rather he got injection.
As he should. Anyone who kills their kids should get life. I don't think this should be like a heavily debated thing, regardless of why it happened.
Yeah,
I think that's a pretty good rule across the board.
But these supporters that you played last night, they couldn't even come up with a concrete reason.
No, it's all for them. It's all feelings. They just have a feeling, and therefore you need to follow whatever they feel and agree. Yeah, I'm sure she did seem like a good mother. I mean, she raised a couple of these kids seemingly no problem, right? For at least a few years, 3 or 4 years or something. So, I mean, it's not like this was a recent issue with the third child, I guess, right?
Yeah, if it's postpartum, it's the third child was 8 months old. So,
but see, the problem here is like motive, right? Like, what's the motive for her doing this? She supposedly had a great life. She was a great mother. She loved her husband. She loved her life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the ultimate reason for her doing this? Like, what's the motive?
Maybe she was crazy, but it's not.
Definitely crazy. And the doctor should have seen this coming, I think. There should be, like, I don't know, more testing done or some kind of thing that happens at a certain point when women exhibit these signs. It's like, okay, now we really need to take this seriously. They keep blaming like the medication and stuff. I don't think that's the most important part about this. I think it's really the therapy that she receives.
And And
matters the most.
then it's noted by the prosecution expert here that she was resistant to medication and treatment. So she made a conscious choice not to get treatment or delay treatment or whatever.
That's the thing, right? Both of them basically did not take this as seriously as they should have, right? Patrick didn't be like, hey, you need to stay here in the hospital for like 6 months or whatever, and she's like leaving after 4 days. They clearly underestimated this situation, right?
Well, the husband could have her committed and take her to court for a commitment hearing. So,
and some people were saying that Patrick, I guess, was negligent, like he should have been taking this more seriously and being there, and I mean, it seemed like he was mostly there for his wife. He was trying to help, but there were some instances where he maybe wasn't there as much because, again, he probably didn't think she was going to kill her kids, right? He didn't think that was going to happen, clearly. So
who would want to believe that the person they're living with would kill their kids?
Right. It's one of those things like you almost don't take it seriously. Like, oh, that's bad. You should check your dosage, maybe talk to a doctor, and then, we'll be good. I think they have this idea like things will be fine if you get on the medication and talk to a doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think most people would feel like, okay, we're fine now, right? But what if you're not fine? What if it doesn't do anything? It doesn't change anything.
Well, if these women are so concerned about the system failed or whatever, then they should contact their state lawmakers and get it changed or improve the system. Not sit there and make excuses for a cold-blooded killer. All right.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I was saying before, like something should be done once she's told, her family and her husband that she had thoughts of killing her children like multiple times. Like it's not just like a passing thought.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's a continual thing, like okay, something needs to be done, right? And not just medication.
Because there's a few women, all right, I'm going to give them kudos to them, who had those feelings and went and ran and got help because they knew that wasn't normal.
So he thought she was joking. She said, I want to kill the kids, and they laughed and laughed. Give me a break. He was negligent. Well, if he really thought she was joking, then was he negligent, or did he just misread the situation?
He could have misread the situation.
I mean, if he really thought she was joking, right? If he wasn't just lying about that, which I don't know. But, clearly he knew there was some issue, right? He had her on medication. He took her to the hospital. So it's not like they did nothing about it. They just didn't do nearly enough.
Yeah, treat and release doesn't really work in some situations.
No. Yeah, they had to do something more serious here.
Or maybe the lawmakers should put another provision in the law.
That's what I was saying. I think the law should come in at this point to protect children, because that's the only way anything's going to be done, right? I mean, you want to give parents the freedom to parent their children, but at the same time, do you want to give them enough freedom to kill their own kids? I mean, we still have like things like CPS and stuff that regulate parents to not harm their children, right? So I don't know, maybe this could be part of that or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because one time there was this crazy woman, all right?
Yeah.
I came across, and she was bitching and whining because social services took her kids. And she had, I have to go get a psychiatric evaluation. And then she started crying. And I says, and you're probably a threat to your kids. To your mental illness,
Mm-hmm. He shouldn't have left her alone with the kids. She called the suicide hotline twice.
But sometimes the other parent doesn't have a crystal ball. They can't predict what she's going to do.
That's the thing, though. Like, what should he have done instead of not leaving her alone with the kids? He still had to work.
Yeah, he still had to work. He still had to put food on the table.
I mean, they did have a nanny, but apparently she said she didn't want the nanny there or something. Didn't she say that?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not a parent. I think that goes without saying. But I'm just saying, if, I had a wife and she said, I feel like killing my kids, I would do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
I would take that seriously.
Yes, people need to take these people seriously when they make these threats.
Yeah.
Or they cry out like that. And then get the other person help.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure they stick to it. You go to the doctor, get some medication, but it's all up to you if you take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all up to you if you cooperate with your treatment options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes meet these Looney Tunes, and I'm like looking at them like, so
He could have took the kids with him or had her get the food.
Yeah, or give them to the parents.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was worked out.
I don't know if he took the situation that seriously. Like I don't think he thought she was capable of that.
Yeah, I think the only time he can get charged alongside her if she knew she was going to kill the kids and did nothing to stop it.
I mean, let's look at it another way, okay? You have a wild animal in the house. Let's say a giant dog that's rabid, growling, eating up the whole house. You're going to be concerned if it's around your children, right?
Yeah.
Because clearly this is a wild animal that is clearly violent. You have assessed the threat level, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Your wife, however, sweet, doting, sweet, she's complimentary. She's taking care of the kids. She seems to be very peaceful. Oh, but she has some mental issues. She's just struggling a little bit, right? But she's still doing everything that she should, right? Showering the kid, whatever, bathing them, feeding them, cooking, cleaning, all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's still doing all that stuff. What is your assessment there, like of the threat level?
That would be
in
high.
Your head.
For
your wife, for your own wife. So you rate them on the same level as the rabid dog.
Yeah.
Okay, you're crazy. I clearly made that example to point out that a straight man, I guess, in this situation would not take it as seriously. Okay, because she's having some thoughts. She's whatever going through something mentally, but I don't think a lot of men will take that very seriously. They don't think that the woman's actually going to act on those thoughts. That's the clear distinction here. An animal's not going to stop itself from tearing kids to shreds, right? But a person who is, seems to be clear of mind and rational and seems to be at peace, it's not like she's running around the house with a straitjacket on, right? Mm-hmm. Like she's doing her motherly duties daily. And so you don't expect something like this to just happen. So I can understand from his point of view how he didn't assess the threat level to be that high. To him, I'm sure this just came out of nowhere. Are we really to believe that he came home and was like, oh, yeah, just what I expected to see when I got home?
Mm-hmm.
No, in fact, the 911 call, apparently he was really like letting loose, like and just shrieking in terror, and it was just horrifying, apparently, by the descriptions I've heard of it.
Yeah, but a normal person would assess a threat level of a wild animal in the house as serious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's not the same if you're married to someone and been married to them for a long time and have never seen them. Let's say, I don't think she was ever violent before this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think she was, right? I feel like I would have heard that during the trial and any of this testimony, but I don't think she was ever violent. She never acted on any kind of impulses like that. So why would he expect it to happen?
Sometimes denial's a killer.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, I can understand why maybe he didn't take it that seriously to think that this was something that was actually going to occur.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes love is blind too. You could love someone and say, oh, I don't believe this is my partner is capable of this, or they just ignore the facts or they ignore the signs because they don't want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how some of these people are. You can show them all the evidence in the world and they still won't believe it.
Right.
So some of these men or some women, they just sit there and say, "Oh, my partner can't do that."
Yeah, I mean, I agree some reasons. I think he was just hoping it would go away. I think he probably minimized her mental issues, just like she minimized her mental issues, according to the psychological expert. He said, that they were minimizing her issues, so it didn't seem like they both took it very seriously.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
3 kids dead.
Why would he think her constantly talking about killing herself and wanting to kill the babies was serious?
I would have took it seriously if it was me.
Yeah, I don't think that she was talking about it in that way with him. Like I don't think it's every single day. Like she woke up saying, "I want to kill the kids. I want to kill the kids." Like I don't think it was like that. I think maybe every now and then she would admit that to him, and then he'd be like, "Okay, well, just stay on your meds and we'll go see the doctor tomorrow, and then we'll tell us what to do."
Yeah.
Like I think that's generally how he was treating it. Again, I don't think he saw a rabid dog in his house and was like, you know what, maybe this is cool. We'll just leave this as is, Again, it's about assessing threat levels.
Absolutely.
I don't think people really understand Patrick's state of mind on this because let's face it, a lot of women don't think logically. So
some men don't think logically either, but
yeah, but most women just think emotionally.
Yeah, they're more emotional creatures.
They are. They are very emotional. I think he was negligent, but I don't think he was negligent to the degree where it was like, well, fuck my wife. I don't care what happens to my kids. You know what I mean? I just don't think he was taking it as seriously as he should have.
Yeah.
Which people can ignore issues until they become a bigger issue. So I think it's one of those things.
Yeah,
I think people they're too quick to attribute like some kind of malicious intent because someone didn't try their absolute damnedest hardest to prevent something. It's like, well, I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, but the reasonable doubt thing in the law is the doubt has to be reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's possible Martians came from Mars and committed the crime, but is that would a reasonable person believe that?
He was lazy dad and was tired of dealing with her being sick, as he admitted. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, is that a crime?
That's not an excuse either. Being lazy, he should have done more.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like he was doing like not enough, but he was doing something. It's not like he was doing nothing. Like he could have just left.
And these women you played last night, it's like they're competing to be the biggest victim. Oh, I'm a mom. A kid is driving me nuts today, and then films it.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. It's friggin' insane. I was always taught that women are just as good as men. No better, no less. Equal. I can't stand this.
Well, I already said what he was doing earlier, Honey Bunch. I said he was taking her to the doctor. He was helping her with meds. He was trying to get her help. It just wasn't enough.
And she wasn't really taking her meds.
Here's the deal. It's either what he was doing, right, or commit her to a mental institution against her will.
Yeah.
Which would you rather do? Because
I'd rather have the
You
commitment.
before Honey Bunch, you were saying you didn't agree with locking someone up against their will to so they wouldn't murder their own babies. So, but it's like there is no middle ground here. Okay, either you take the nuclear option, or parents are going to do whatever. They're going to put in minimal effort to address an issue like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's at that point, it's a wild card. You don't know what's going to happen. Either she could get over it, and because he probably thought, well, she hasn't murdered my last two kids. I'm sure this one will be no different. She's just having some issues, right? She's had anxiety. She's been on medication for years now. Why would he possibly think that she really is going to kill the kids at that point? Right.
But it's also up to her to tell the doctor what's going on in her head.
Sure. I agree. Completely agree.
To say, I think this and that, but I don't know how she's feeling. So
yeah. And then she was also prescribed like a bunch of different medications, so it's not like they were doing nothing about it.
Yeah, I was, because I knew someone who died, and her daughter was a paranoid schizophrenic.
No, I said we can't lock people up against their will for very long. Not that we shouldn't. What do you mean we can't? Yeah, we can. There's people who will lock someone away for having crazy homicidal thoughts. That happens. That's not something that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but his daughter, it took some years for them to get her on the right meds.
Right.
Because nothing worked. They tried this, it didn't work so great. Then they changed her medicine again and again and again, and they had to go through the whole formulary just to find something that worked.
Mm-hmm. All I'm going to say is this. This is what I'm going to say. If you think Patrick was the shitty father and he didn't do everything he could, then I'll just say this. I really hope that you tell every single woman who goes through postpartum depression, who has thoughts of harming their children, to commit themselves to a mental institution for 6 months. I really hope so, because if not, you're a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, what is there to do? How do you help that situation? You're trying to keep the mother away from the kids at that point, right? But you don't want to unseat the kids. So what is the obvious solution? You lock the mother away.
Yeah.
Until she gets better, correct?
Yeah, and until she's not a threat to herself and others.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't care if there has to be a law about it, or the husband is able to do it on his own unilaterally. I don't care. I don't care how it's done. Maybe if a police report gets filed, it gets happened automatically. I don't give a shit. Point is, the only way to protect these kids is to have them committed.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
And there's this stigma attached to mental illness too. Oh, if I take meds, it's like, I don't want people to know. Well, she doesn't have to sit there and brag, oh, I have this and that. But at the same time, Yeah, and the husband works from home, Funny Bunch. So
yeah,
it's like
the brutally honest and Honey Bunch show should be interesting.
Oh, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I could sit there and argue with your girlfriend.
You're not going to argue. You're just going to agree with everything.
Yeah. No one's going to totally agree on everything,
No, but you are. You're going to agree with everything she says.
I don't agree with her on Brooke. I'll tell you that.
Well, not Brooke, but on this stuff you would.
Yeah, and she seems to be more. She's a compassionate person. All right.
Yeah, but that's also. I also feel like she's not as realistic about things as I am. She's not willing to do what it takes, to penalize these women. We can only hold women for 3 days. No, bitch, we're locking them up for 6 months minimum.
Yeah, and Brooke, it's almost. I think she has 2 more weeks until she's been in the slammer for a year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a year already since Brooke pulled her little stunt with threatening school kids on school property.
Mm-hmm.
Now she should they had these competency hearings with her, and she refuses to take a plea bargain. I think they offered her 18 months plus probation, and she wouldn't take it. She probably thinks in her mind that she did nothing wrong or something, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like if she didn't go to the school, I would agree she did nothing wrong. But she went to the school, and that's kind of a no-no.
And the Rockingham County Sheriff got on the news here and said, "Well, we're taking these threats seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if someone's threatening to kill somebody, we're going to take that fucking seriously."
Right.
And then he read Brooke's record on the news, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Because every time you get convicted of a crime in North Carolina, you get conviction points, and her conviction points are on the high end, so she'll probably get more of the maximum sentence if she doesn't plead.
She's too aggressive. That's her main issue. She needs medication.
Yeah,
but then she needs an income. She needs like a job, but then she can't get a job because she's a felon.
And a basket case.
She had all these issues when she was out of jail. I mean, at least now she's getting regular food and meals, you know?
At least she's not walking the streets.
She doesn't have to worry about like, oh, now I got to get a job, but I can't get a job because I'm a felon. And I'm a felon because they took away my kid, and they took away my kid because of the rapist who raped me when I was 16. Like all this whole story.
Yeah, and I think she's schizophrenic, to tell you the truth.
I don't know about that. She might be schizoaffective.
Yeah, in between bipolar and schizophrenia.
Yeah, definitely has some kind of mood disorder of some kind. Her job was YouTube, but it wasn't a regular enough income for her. I don't think that's something that would have. I mean, it could have paid off maybe eventually, but she also was saying she had issues getting the money delivered to her because she didn't have like an address or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she had to live in a fucking closet. You know what I mean? Like,
or was that
in her supposed in her uncle rapist daddy's shed, right? And she painted the shed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think not like a month later she got arrested.
Well, she deserves to spend some time in prison, I'll tell you that, but at least Brooke didn't kill anyone yet. Let's just point that out.
What are you saying, Summer?
It's something about sound.
Oh, that it stands for what did I name myself on here? Elaine's an F slur.
Yeah.
I just never bothered to change it. I guess I could. Can I change it here?
Yeah, you can change
it. Let's see here. Profile. Okay. Let's change this to lichen.
There we go.
Did that work?
Yeah, it worked.
Okay, it worked now. Great.
Yeah, these people need to learn the difference between a joke and when to take something seriously, and some people don't.
I do think the Elaine's an F slur is funny though.
Yeah, you should come out of the closet. It's 2026 already.
Yep. But yeah, crazy bitches should be put away for 6 months to a year.
Yeah, at least Brooke will get her mental health meds behind bars.
Will she?
Yeah, she
will.
We
know that?
But she doesn't have to take them. They can't force you to take medication, though.
Right.
it's a little thing in the law. Which,
well, hopefully she does take them because she needs them.
but I think this is just my opinion, though. I think she's giving her lawyer a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like first she acts psychotic during an interview with her lawyer. Then I think the lawyer had to report it to the judge. I don't think my client may be competent.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to be sent to the doctor and Butner for a psych eval.
Yeah.
See if she's competent to take a deal or competent to stand trial. And now she's earned herself a November trial for this.
So this is a trial's coming up in November?
Yeah, she pled not guilty and is going to trial.
For this crime that she's in jail for now?
Yeah.
So was this the earliest trial date that she could get?
She probably could have got an earlier trial date if she cooperated. They probably had to wait for the psych exam to come in.
So it took this long.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because I heard one person, the state was seeking the death penalty against him. And he was in jail, I think, for 2 years.
Mm.
And they didn't even go to trial yet.
Wow.
I don't think the state got it though.
So she doesn't have so damn. Is this going to be like a public trial?
Yeah, if I wanted to go, I could get a ride down there and watch the trial live.
Are they going to stream it somewhere?
I'm going to find that out. I want to find out.
You should do, Bill. You should go there and stream it with your phone, and then I'll restream you and make it my own content. I'll do commentary over you.
Yeah, but they don't allow cameras, and they don't even allow cell phones in the courthouse.
Bill, there's glasses that have cameras in them now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, you can buy them on like Amazon or something. You can buy those and then go to court as like some nerdy guy and then just record everything while you're there.
Well, I'm not going to get myself into trouble, you know?
Yeah, well.
I'm going to get myself into trouble. It's not even worth it. Yeah, you can't even.
Winners take chances, Bill. Remember that.
Yeah, and you got to get the judge's permission now in this county to even bring in a laptop.
Oh, wow.
Because there were incidents at the county courthouse where people in the public were recording jurors, which is illegal in the state. And the judges got sick of holding people in contempt for it. So,
Like It and Bill show coming soon.
Hey,
I mean, I would love to review some of that stuff when it comes time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much we're going to be able to really show or discuss. That's the only issue.
Yeah. It's the only issue. You know, I like to talk about other things than criminals, but I'm seeming to be going in the true crime direction for now.
You should just do the true crime on your own channel, Bill. And by the way, when you're going to do shows like this where you're talking about specific cases, you should put them in the title of your streams and do the hashtags and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise people are not going to know how to find you.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to keep the drama sphere and this separate. I don't want any problems over here. I want to attract some new people. I understand, but at this point, it's not going to matter. You're better off just streaming this stuff on your own channel, like your other one. And then if you have to, if you get an audience at some point, maybe say like, here's my true crime channel, come over here. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's not really worth losing viewers. You know what I mean? Because you get more viewers on your other channel.
Yeah.
Right. So and just work on the titles and hashtags and stuff, because it's just
or I can dual stream to both channels when I'm doing non-drama.
yeah, you could do that. Just don't call your stream True Crime Updates. Like that's too general.
You got a point there.
Yeah, you got to be specific on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Summer, block them if they start in with the shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get off here, Bill.
Yeah, I'm
talking to you.
I'm about to go now too. So,
all right. Talk soon.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
So I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I'd really appreciate a donation if it's possible. It's thumbs up on the way out, so I get more into the algorithm. And I'll see everyone later. All right.